finally a chapter of this arc which I can admit I actually liked. For once in a time we have actually seen how much Megumi has grown. And in the end she has done the exact same thing as Rindo. Turns out that ever since she became an Elite 10, she has been traveling around the world seeking many different flavors. But unlike Rindo who sought exotic ingredients, she sought the culture and his hospitality and has all engulfed in that into her dish. So yeah, this is actually a chapter for the first time actually I like. So what is Megumi? Yes, this is an angry anime fan. This better review bringing you chapter 269. So what is it that Megumi is serving? Well, actually, it seems to be a kid's meal. A very gourmet kid's meal that looks like a curry plate. Of course, the monarch at first mocks that, but Megumi still says that he should enjoy it. And indeed, after just one taste, he is immediately transported to the nature, a beautiful nature, a beautiful sun. It's worth noting that he's not being stripped, but that's actually fine for me. The fact that he's actually imagining being in nature is amazing enough, and even the innkeeper feels that way. As Megumi mentions what she did to get this flavor. She added shrimp after some stew after she took some fresh fish and vegetables in the kitchen. She finished it off with spices, herbs, and sauces like bay leaf, thyme, and Worcestershire sauce. She added soy sauce to meld the Japanese ingredients and spices, and I think, and many things more. Of course, Soma, of course, also eats it without any delays. So, but they're also wondering why is it affecting the monarch most. But that's because it's the dish that Megumi is serving, as she puts a little devious smile, is because this is not a curry dish, it's a gumbo dish, which according to history here is an embodiment household comfort food enjoyed in the American South, particularly in the coast of the Gulf of Mexico, revealing that the monarch actually comes from around there. It's the gumbo is a thick, spicy, and rich soup that is served with rice, but it's not curry because they don't add curry powder, which becomes thicker than sauce. So, as the monarch demands to know how she is able to reflect all that, especially adding a dish that the monarch from the country the monarch comes from. She adds that she could actually figure it out from the end of his sentences and his accents. It reminded her of the accents of the most commonly known to Mexican speakers of Spanish. It turns out our dear Megumi has not only brushed up on her cooking, she has become extremely self-aware and smart. She has actually picked up on accents that is not even Japanese. So, but she's also using that as her own backwoods accent. So, but she's also mentioned that the outfit he's wearing has an American feel. So that way she figured out that he was from the Gulf and the American South. So, and if she come from that one, it must mean that he ate gumbo as a child. But the monarch asks, how is that a little possible? And Megumi reveals she has been studying. So, and studying she has. In these last few months, she has used the power as an Elite 10 to travel all around the world. As I said, in the beginning. Travel to France, Hawaii maybe, Alaska, or is that Canada? Is it Egypt, or maybe even Saint Argentina? And I'll tell you the truth, I don't know any of those countries she visited. One is a tropical things with coconuts. Another one is with the dog sled with camels, and then even played footballs with some kids. Maybe that was Africa? No, who knows. But yeah, maybe that is the reason why Megumi is the 10th seat. She has been away all these few months studying and brushing up on her cooking that she hasn't challenged any any of the other top men mentions. If that's the reason, then that's fine with me. But that makes me wonder though, if this is, I mean, I knew this was a power the Elite 10 could have. Although I technically always felt like it was exclusive to the higher or the highest up. But that's not my point. My point is, if Megumi could have done all this, then that makes us all the more question what could the other Elite Tens have done. Has Soma done this? Who knows? So either way, but the, as I said before, Rindo did something similar like here there, but the only difference is Megumi find uh, find the hospitality in all of her travels. The one that had a different sense of home, and then she channeled them into her dish. But the monarch still doesn't understand why is he so overwhelmed. And they actually, because Megumi saw through that arrogant jackass, according to her, what the monarch may think like he wants to crush everything else, but in the end he just want to crush everything because he has yet to find the hospitality his heart craves. Um, he is basically the hospitality your heart craves is not something which a king can reign. He wanted to be treated like a king, but he shouldn't have come to Japan to do that, right? He could just have stayed at a five-star hotel and then he would have been treated like a king all night. But in the end, he chose the hot spring because there's a nostalgic, bittersweet, faintly smell whispering to home to him, and that's why he stayed there. In the end, all he wanted was to be kindly, warmly enveloped in a familiar taste of home. But when he got here, he didn't get any of that feeling. Maybe because he was too arrogant or too stubborn to see that way. But eating Megumi's taste, he can, for the first time, the arrogant monarch can admits defeat as he cannot reject this flavor. He cannot reject this call. Uh, and he agrees this is just what he wanted, a hospitality, a mother's blessing, as we see a final picture of being fed like a mother, Beibumi, a mother's cooking. That is the 10th seat of the Elite 10, Megumi Tadokoro, one who has now Chan. So I'm so glad we're going back to her hospitality roots. That is her strongest suit, and it's glad that that's not been ignored. It's still been ignored that she has unlimited potential, but at least we're going back to her roots of her motherness and hospitality. That is what makes this chapter a very beautiful one for me, and I don't really have that much problem with it, to be honest. It's just seeing Megami and her hospitality here. I mean, even that Fugasm where Monarch sees himself as a baby, a grown baby being fed by a mother. Strangely enough, that scene didn't felt disturbed to me. When I saw Megumi's, naked picture there in the bathtub of money, I felt a little bit disturbed by that. Despite the fact that I like hentai and yuri and all that stuff, I from one thing I didn't really felt like that felt appropriate for someone like Megumi's character. So why is it that when I'm seeing this being fed by a mother, this is affecting me a little bit more? I don't know, real actually. Maybe because Megumi is my favorite character, and this reflects her thing, and also it's nothing more satisfying to just see a spoiled, arrogant guy in the end submit to that of a warmth of a mother, right? Because a true parent should be supportive. But no, maybe it's just that Megumi is my favorite character, and seeing this is a Fugasm that reflects her. Not punching straight, not overwhelming, just warm and fuzzy inside. So all in all, finally a chapter Shokugeki no Soma in this arc, which I could actually have liked. But you give me your thoughts if you have any.